Am I in the system or not? Is that you?
Yes, you're muted. Buddy, I'm sorry we didn't have a chair for you. Usually you like bringing your stool out, so I like specifically said like, but it'll bring his stool.
No, my back feels better with it. I'm using a cushion right now. So
All right.
I just figured up on the beam it feels too high up. You know, if I was sitting down on the floor.
Whatever works for you. Hey, by the way, do you notice
I know, I saw.
Ari's registered for CMC?
Oh! Awesome.
So excited.
We're practically paying him to come.
Yeah, seriously. We're getting all the discounts. We're doing the Jewish professional, the first time, the pay in full.
For the first time, he's not actually getting the one happy camper. You have to go to a 2-week session for that.
Got it. No, but
What
like,
grade is he going into?
fourth.
Fourth, and he didn't want to do it for 2 weeks?
I don't know if he did or didn't. His mother. No, I think it's good to start him with 1 week.
Baby steps.
Yeah,
Then
exactly.
we'll want to go back to 4 the next year.
Exactly.
So is Maya 2, what grade is she going into?
First. Yeah.
I think going into second is too young. Fourth grade is about the right year to go to camp.
Yeah, I agree.
How old does that make you?
Those are real.
It was about 8.
I was 8 when I started, but
We only went to a short session too.
We get to pick free service and cars. Oh, we can do fun stuff. We can do fun keychains and things.
Yeah.
He's got a cake though.
Sound checked the last few weeks before starting.
Then let's do that.
I can't hear anybody singing.
Well, let's fix that.
I couldn't hear. When I was just alone, I couldn't hear me.
What'd you say?
Hey!
You know I love you, buddy. All right.
All right, what would you like to sound check, Heidi?
I don't really care. I just want to hear us all singing. How about?
Oh, could we pick the key from Shabbat?
How are we doing Looking Lock? What's happening with that?
Is it song?
Yes. No, you're fine. It was muted.
What?
It was muted
Okay.
on the board, so now you're fine.
On your journey. I probably need the music for this.
Okay, hang on. Hang on.
What?
We used to sing this at every bar and bas mitzvah.
Everyone.
Everyone
I
for
think
like
Jeremy should
10
sing the tune and I'll sing the
years.
harmony, but I just need the music.
Yeah.
Drove me
Sure.
nuts.
So are you hearing anything out of there? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2. If you're not hearing anything, then you are? You are
Stacey,
hearing?
you're the best. Thank you. He asked for your email today.
So I'm not hearing my.
He asked for your email today to send you a thank you.
Okay.
It was
Yeah, it's
Micaiah.
been the overall What was it? Oh, do it to like 50%. Lech lecha. Better. And all shall praise your name. Lech lecha. On your journey I will bless you. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. And I shall make your name great. And all shall praise your name.
I'll come in the corner. No, I wasn't singing just now, but I will if you want me to.
I heard you really loud. I hardly hear
Not very
Jeremy.
much Jeremy either.
And Jason.
I wasn't singing that part, but I will.
Oh, yeah,
I'll do it now. Sorry.
So it doesn't help if you don't sing.
Okay, I'll come in.
Okay,
Go
how about
ahead.
now?
Sorry,
Is that
go ahead,
better?
I'm ready.
All right.
You sing last week, you
Lechila.
quiet in here.
It's curious.
Bless you shall be.
A chew. I mean, I'm pretty hot, and you're in that mix. Maybe try turning it up a little more. You shall be a blessing. Lechila. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing.
You shall be a blessing. L'simchat chayim. Okay, let's do that. Okay.
From where?
Shall be.
You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing.
Much, let's slow down on the 141.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Could we try something? Kate, at the end, when we do, you shall be a blessing. Lechila, da 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 da. Something like that?
Sebastian gave me the bar on this today. And he said, look, we think of going forth as leaving college. He said, but we're always going forth. Every minute of our day is going forth just to be as a blessing. I said,
Just to be as
It
holy.
only took you 21 years to get it, right? Well, I'll tell you. You should hear my tour tomorrow.
He was going to today.
Huh?
He was here. He was right back
Oh, I see.
Oh, shoot.
You need one of those.
I'm not trying to stress you out, buddy.
That starts with D minor, right?
all right, so then can I go get the...
When you were running, you were referencing the words.
Can you get,
6 o'clock.
Is there anything else we want to run?
are we all sound checked?
Could we do something with drums?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do the Shir Ladonai.
Especially since we all play.
Ya la la, ya la 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 ya la la, ya la 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 ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Are you singing?
I believe you.
I am.
I just can't hear you.
All right.
I was. Okay.
You're up.
Come
here, Bubba.
Are we ever singing words? Or
We are, yeah.
And the words are
Yeah, page 13.
Joby, Littmans, how are you? Mazel tov. Go grab some prayer books in the back, okay? Oh, you got them. Oh, look at you. Slickness. Very nice. Very nice.
all right.
Looking good. You feeling good?
Warm up. That would be a thing to do.
You got this.
We
got
however
this.
it goes.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, we'll do it.
Yeah.
What'd you say? The Hafta is going to be
So-
on page 150.
Yeah. Something like that. So yeah, so with the words. Yep, just like that. I thought it was a little. There it is. So, Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Basru Shemo, Basru Miyom, Leon Yeshuato, Sapu Vagoyim, Kevodo, Bechol Ha'amim, Nikotai, Ki Gadol Adonai, Ula Meor, Norahu, Al Kol Elohim, ay, 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 lay, 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 lay.
Are you doing the second part?
Eh?
So you're going right into that, so... Ki gadol Adonai, ulam eyohod, norahu, al kol Elohim,
Ay, ay, ay.
ki kol Elohei amim elelim, ba'adonai shamayim asa, Olel hadar lefanav oz vetiferet ve'mitashot. Yeah, I don't know if you want to do that. We'll get you ready with it.
Okay, then let's not do Kilo.
Everything, there's the shared ODD, but we do that all the
No,
time.
I'm thinking that too. What about like something like one of the things that you might do at camp, like da na 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 like that.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, maybe something. Oh, how about the Dan Nichols thing that we sometimes do? Like
I mean,
SI
And I?
Yeah, we can do that.
okay, that seems like a good before service. Except for kind of nice.
Yeah, and then Kaddish.
so we can just do that. You guys can riff on that for a while.
Yeah, we can just go back and forth on that, and we don't usually have a plan for all that long.
Yeah,
And if we need another thing, we could always do like Tov of Dough or something. We can just throw something in.
yeah.
Just to, that'll be like plan B. And for under Kaddish, the yahrzeit names.
Yeah, what have y'all done in the past couple of weeks?
We did Mihaish last week.
Okay, then we won't do that.
Oh,
So you weren't here last week.
I haven't been here since High Holidays, so yeah.
well, I wasn't here last week because I was in Maryland.
Not a
Were you
suitcase.
married?
Briefcase. It's totally.
Still is, I think.
But then I don't remember what we did before that. So I don't know. Oh, we did something with Milo. We did the door.
Oh, yeah, we did Finkelstein.
Yeah, I don't want to do that one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not do that.
So there's the only two we can't do. What else do we do?
I don't know, I'm just reading off.
Want to
There's.
do Biado?
I was just about to say Veyado, we can do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay out because every time I played under the names, people can't hear it. They can't hear it.
Okay.
At least I've listened. I don't hear a thing.
You don't hear what?
I don't hear me. Period.
In the recordings?
Ever.
I haven't had that experience.
No. Even last week it was just me and Jeff. I couldn't hear me. Jeff said the same thing. It was a weird thing. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm not in the mix.
I don't know. But anyway, so Biado is just we do it a little slow under the names.
Yeah. Very nice.
Just kind of like that. Just trying to go very like that. That's a nice choice for it. I like that under the names.
So I forgot, here's a funny story. I forgot my foot pedal, so I can't turn the page in this.
Oh no. I guess you'll just have to
You
not
want to
use the
connect
music.
yours to mine?
It's okay. I would only need it for Veyado, so it's okay.
Well, just it's just you know how it goes. It's E minor with
Yeah.
a D in there.
Yeah.
One time it goes E major.
Yeah. I mean, like, I could do just this first part over and over. That's what I
But
have.
then you can just take a solo on it. I mean, who cares? We don't need to like just play the string tune a million times.
Yeah.
It's easy to learn.
Yeah.
I think that's a good choice.
Okay. I can do that.
So it's time to start. I don't know what time it is.
It's
6:08.
Well, do you want to start the thing?
I guess when they start doing this piping it out, right, or not?
I don't know. I don't think they're doing they're not doing the screens today.
Oh, they're not. You're
Well,
right.
they
because
say
the software broke.
6:10 is begin screen. So
Okay, so 10 will start.
yeah.
Is there? Do they know?
Hi. Thank you. We're involved.
This is like moments where life can feel full. All of us went from somewhere where the rhythm was one thing a year ago, and now it's a completely different thing this year. As we enter into the normative rhythms of a new normal, let's try to find some time to lift up joy and blessing. Let's find a time to bring people into sacred space. Let's find moments to use our gifts and our talents and our skills to bring shlemut and wholeness to this community.
Hey, Andy, when we do Lift You Up, can I do the opening of it?
Just by yourself?
Well, with all of you, but hitting me doing the notes versus you. You know the.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
All right.
So we're without screens tonight.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank kindergarten students come up to the bima. All of our pre-K and K religious school students, please come up to the bima.
You know, Andy, I think we did do that. Well, in E, because I used to keep my capo on and play it in D shapes on the second fret, and then we go into
All of our pre-K and K students, come on up to the bima. Beautiful.
And give a little silent hands for our amazing pre-K and kindergartners. Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Shabbat Shalom to all of you who are joining us in person. Shabbat Shalom to those who are joining us virtually. We are one community, whether in person, online. Turn around for those who are here. Wave to the cameras. Say Shabbat Shalom to our virtual community. For those who are virtual this evening, write in your chat the Shabbat Shalom message perhaps. I invite you in this moment to turn to someone behind you, around you, in front of you, to say Shabbat Shalom. Wish them a wonderful Shabbat this evening. This week in our Torah, we're reading something very important. We're reading Parshat Lech Lecha, which God tells Avram to go forth, Lech, to go forth to a land that he would be shown, and those that would follow would be for blessing and would be as numerous as the stars in the sky. And so when I think about last week and I think about this week, the beautiful souls that join us on the Bima this evening, and last, to think about what Lech Lecha truly is, a way to not only inherit our tradition, but to pass it forward and to pay it forward, in a way for these wonderful young Jewish minds to embrace their tradition, to learn of our teachings, to wrestle and to argue with the things that they're learning and growing into and from. And this is truly what is meant by the ultimate message of Lech Lecha, to go forth. If you are new, this perhaps is your first time sitting in our congregation. I'm Rabbi Jason Navarez. I am joined with Rabbi Jeremy Gimbel, with Heidi Gantwork. We have our amazing musicians of Andy Mayer, Buddy Voigt, and Kate Chasen, who are joining us this evening, all incredibly soulful musicians meant to bring some ruach, some energy into this sacred space. This evening, some of you may have seen us when we are viewing online, that we have liturgical words. We have our prayer book on the screen. This evening, due to the ongoing evolution of technology, we have had some updating issues with our back end, our back office programs that enable us to do so. So for our virtual seekers this evening, I invite you to just be part of the service, and we will announce pages, but we'll have to forego for this evening our liturgy online. For those of us who are in our congregation, I hope that you grabbed on your way in a Mishkan Tefillah, as we will be announcing pages throughout. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. How wonderful, how beautiful it is that we dwell together. So I invite you to take a moment to breathe in the masks, perhaps at home, not in the mask. Breathe in for a moment to set our intention, and breathe out. We run all week. Shabbat is our time to lishbot, to cease, to stop. Some of us are coming here for sacred celebration. Perhaps someone's going to become bar mitzvah tomorrow. We have others who are here to celebrate their children. Others come to honor a loved one. Others come here because on Shabbat, that's what you do. You come to shul. Whatever your reason, we're here together. And so tomorrow afternoon, we will delight with Toby Littman and his family, as he has worked very hard to reach this moment of becoming bar mitzvah. And some of you who are just up here and will be up here a little later, this is you in about 8 years or so. So I invite Toby and his family to join us on the Bima this evening to kindle our Shabbat candles, and we join together with everyone on page 2.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik להדליק נר של שבת.
Some of our youngest congregants, we're going to be singing this evening. And we invite you to sing with us. And even if you don't know the words in Hebrew, or some of you may not know the words in Hebrew, you can join together for very, very infamous words. Lai. It's very simple. You can join with us. We invite you to. We begin Kabbalat Shabbat on page 13 with the words Shir Ladonai, sing unto God. We invite you to join with us.
Yalai, lalai, lai, yalai, lalai, lai, yalai, lalai, lai, yalalai, yalalai, yalai, lalai, lai, yalai, lalai, lai, yalai, lalai, lai, yalalai, yalalai, yalai, lalai, lai, yalalai, yalalai, yalai, lalai, lai, yalalai, lai, lai.
As I invite you to turn to page 22 in your prayer books, this stanza we call L'chadodi means, come my beloved, as we greet the Sabbath bride. And so this is a time where we're greeting Shabbat, where we're welcoming one another, and that we're hoping for a time, and we're thinking of a time to keep and to remember Shabbat and how important it is. And at the last section that we're going to do, that's going to begin with Bo'ii v'Shalom, when we do that, we're going to ask everyone to rise, and we're going to face the doors in the back, because that's where, from whence we came. And so we're always waiting. We're waiting for the Shabbat HaMalkah, the Sabbath bride. And so when we reach that point, we'll invite you with our hands to rise, and we'll invite you to turn to the back of our congregation, to the open doors as we face that way. We join together again, page 22, L'chadodi.
Shamor v'sachor b'dibur echad. וסולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לך דודי לי כלכלה יללה 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 בני שבת מקבלה לך דודי לי כלכלה יללה 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 בני שבת מקבלה. We remain standing as we turn to page 146 as we face eastward towards our Torah, towards Jerusalem for the Baruch Hu, our call to prayer. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Ahavat olam Beit Israel amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta. With great love, God, you love your people Israel. You teach us Torah and mitzvot and give us laws and rules to live by. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Page 149. We center our attention and focus our words on Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchut Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. As we turn to page 150, we invite up our bar mitzvah tomorrow, Toby Littman, to lead us in Ve'ahavta, page 150.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך בשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
אדוני אלוהיכם. אמן.
When we get to this part of our service, as I invite you to turn to page 152, we're going to sing in a moment the song of the sea that we call Mi Chamocha. Who is like you, Adonai, among all the other gods that are worshipped? And we just sang the Shema that says, we hear Israel, God is one. And so this is our opportunity to say, thank you for saving us from slavery. Thank you for making the journey possible. And so we're going to join together, page 152, Mi Chamocha.
מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. תורת תגידות, מלך, תורת תגידות, ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. יאללה אליי, יאללה לילה 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 לילה, יאללה לילה לילה
And then as you turn to page 154, we sing together, V'shamru, V'nei Yisrael et Shabbat. The children of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing it throughout all generations, throughout all time. And so we're reminded each Shabbat to keep. And so we sing together, V'shamru.
V'shamru.
Israel oti leolam oti leolam
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
And in a moment, we are getting to the very center of our service this evening, which is called the Amidah. And in Hebrew, Lamod means to rise. So in a moment, we're going to ask everyone to please rise, and we're going to face the ark. And then we're asking God to hear our prayers. And sometimes those prayers are what we call hodaot, which means thanks, and sometimes they're bakashot, which means requests. And so sometimes we do them out loud, and sometimes silently. So we're going to start together, and then we're going to think inward as we begin thinking about our week and what we're grateful for and what we hope in the coming week. I invite you to please rise as we begin Amidah on page 155.
Ufi
invite you to join silently, and when you're finished, you may be seated, and then we'll come together. Our school has been very busy this year, welcoming students who we haven't seen in over a year, welcoming many returnees, welcoming new students, and many that you saw up here tonight and we'll see at the end of our service this evening are some of our new students, and they were here for Shabbat dinner, and they're here tonight joining us with their families and services, and we have a very special offering tonight for them, and I'd like to introduce Rose Orlovich, who some of you have not had the privilege of meeting yet, our amazing, wonderful Director of Education, and she will share some offerings this evening.
This is a little prayer for our students as they begin their educational journey with us. May the Torah's wisdom teach each of you to approach people with compassion, stand up for yourself and others, and repair a world that is in need of much healing. May you learn from your Jewish community about how to celebrate who you are and where you come from, decide where you're going, and who you want to be when you arrive there. And surround yourself with love when life gets challenging. May your parents find strength in the clergy, educators, other parents, friends that are on this journey with them, the values that Judaism has to offer, and the life cycle events, holidays, community gatherings, and school days that bring us all together. May we, your teachers, live up to the words, Veshinantam levanecha, to teach you diligently all that we can about what Judaism and your Jewish community has to offer. And may we support you in developing your own unique Jewish identity. May this community learn alongside you and serve as a blessing.
Amen. Amen. Thank you.
To a land that I will show you. Lech lecha to a place you do not know. Lechi la, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi la. Lechi la. And I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall I said I will show you. L'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, l'simchat chayim, lechilach. And you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. We take a moment to think of those who are in need of healing. We know that we don't want any of our loved ones to be hurting. And so we pray not just that they be healed, but they receive wholeness again, a refuah shlema, that they become whole again. Within our community, we're especially mindful of Mark Edelman, Jerome Bernstein, Leslie Cohen and Rob Cohen, Samantha Farish, Denise Garrick, Evie Golden, Nancy Gordon, Steve Gould, Ellen Hutt, Ruthie Jordan, Ava Kerno, Michal Batavida David, Bill Mills, David Murillo III, Lisa Nelson, Sharon Ritter, Karen Romer, Galina Rubelchenko, Sue Ruskin-Maher, Rhonda Schwartz, Cindy Spector, Patricia Spira, Maxine Trimble and Gerald Trimble, David Tossman, Fred Valfer, Kathy Weil and John Weil, and George Weiss. Perhaps there's a name on your heart. As our eyes meet, I invite you to share that name with our community, and it's okay if we call out more than one name at a time. We join together in our prayer for healing, Mishaberach, page 253.
Of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen.
Call Shabbat Shalom. I want to tell you a story. I know, you love the stories, Lynn. It's about an old guy. And one day, he was walking along the road, and he was eating carobs. Have you ever eaten a carob? Got these little seeds in them. And he's walking along the road. He's going to shul because it's a Friday afternoon, naturally. And he's eating these carobs and spits out the seeds. He takes a few more steps, pops another carob, eats the fruit, spits out the seed. Anyway, Shabbat's approaching. Now, our guy's a little tired, so he decides to find a nice tree and take a little schluff, take a little nap, just before Shabbos. So he goes and he rests. And as he falls asleep, he begins to have this dream. And in this dream, he's there, but 70 years later, an entire lifetime later, he's kind of surprised. I'm still alive after all this time. But he gets over himself and he notices that he's looking out back from where he just came from. And where he spit out those little seeds, up has grown a giant carob tree. And there are two children that are walking along, and they've got a little carob seedling in their hand. And one of the kids plants the little seedling in the ground. And his friend turns to him and says, "What are you doing? Carob trees take so long to plant. They take 70 years to even eat the fruit. You're never going to enjoy the fruits of that carob tree." And he says, "Yes, that's true. But before me, there were carob trees planted so that I may enjoy the fruit. And so I'm planting carob trees so that future generations may enjoy that fruit." What I love about this story is that it reminds us this incredible Jewish value, Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh B'Zeh. All of Israel is responsible for one another. My great-great-great-grandparents were responsible for me, and I am responsible for my great-great-great-grandchildren. And in fact, a minyan is required to say certain prayers during a service. A minyan that is 10 people, 10 Jews. Abba Kovner says this is a Jewish matter, the most unique aspect of Judaism, to be one of the minyan, to know that 9 need the 10th, and the 1 needs the 9. In this Torah portion, as Rabbi Navarez mentioned in Parshat Lech Lecha, God calls out to Avram. His name is Avram at this point. He's not yet Abraham. God calls out to Avram and says, "Go forth to a land that I will show you, and your descendants will be blessed and inherit this land." And when Avram and his family arrive at Canaan, God appears to Avram. Now, this is a particularly striking moment. There aren't many firsts in the Torah when it comes to God. But this is one of the firsts. Because for the first time, God appears to one of his prophets. God speaks to Adam and Eve and Noah. But to Avram, God appears and says, "I will give this land to your children." This is the first divine revelation in the Promised Land.
the land that today we call Israel. And perhaps Israel, this promised land, maybe there's something sacred about our holy land, our promised land. It feels different. It's a way of marking the land as God's gift and as the future possession of the people of Israel. And this Shabbat marks an incredible holiday, two incredible holidays that happened earlier this week. One is Yom Aliyah, the day that is celebrating all of those who have made Aliyah, made ascension, who have moved to Israel. And a few years ago, the Israeli movement for progressive Judaism also began a holiday called Jewish Peoplehood Day, celebrating not just those who are living in Israel, but those who live outside of Israel, celebrating the diversity of Jewish peoplehood. For thousands of years, Jews have lived around the world, scattered across 5 continents while maintaining strong mutual ties. The Jewish people has its roots in the ancient Near East and the Fertile Crescent. From there, our ancestors migrated to the Promised Land, the land of Israel. But as the following centuries brought waves of revival and destruction, the Jews scattered around the globe, sometimes by choice, sometimes unwittingly. The nation's heritage begins its story outside the land of Israel, and its formative history is one of an ongoing series of migrations to and from the land of Israel. The relationships among the Jews in each place where they settled and between those places and in time and the land of Zion also underwent numerous and diverse changes over the generations. At each point in time, we can find both local struggles for survival and rich and even prosperous life, both in Israel and outside of Israel. From the earliest days of dispersion through the development of the Zionist idea in the late 19th century and on to the present day, a complex and rich dialogue has been maintained, creating a delicate and unique thread that binds Jewish living in different parts of the world. In recent years, the term Jewish peoplehood has been used to refer to the sense of belonging shared by Jews around the world. This connection has taken different forms over the course of history, but remains one of the main components of Jewish identity and culture. And this day, Diaspora Israel Day, is added to the calendar every year, celebrated on the 7th day of the Hebrew month of Cheshvan. Cheshvan is known in rabbinic literature as Mar Cheshvan, as bitter Cheshvan. Why? Because it's the one holiday in the entire it's the 1 month in the entire Jewish calendar where there are no holidays. So how sweet it is that we can celebrate the diversity of our peoplehood. This is not just Yom Aliyah. This is our Peoplehood Day, a day when we can celebrate those who live in Israel and the diversity of those who live outside of Israel. For when God spoke to Avram and said, "I will multiply you and make you a great nation," the land was part of that too. But the first promise was the people. May each of us be a blessing as we go forth. Lech lecha, lechi lach. Shabbat shalom. I'd like to invite Mike Chasen, one of our members of our board of directors, to offer some announcements from the congregation.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat shalom. I'm Mike Chasen, a member of your board of directors. I have a couple of brief announcements for you and a short story, but first, let's talk about Toby. Was that a terrific performance tonight or what? You guys can clap. That's okay. We don't normally clap here. Tonight we'll clap. That was strong, strong work. It was a pleasure to hear. It was a joy to see the looks on your families' faces. And they're easy to identify. They appear to be the folks wearing the blue yarmulkes and the blue masks. Am I right? That's not a coincidence. Very good work. I hope tomorrow's a beautiful day for you. Young man, you're off to a strong start. Okay, a couple quick announcements. You all found our service schedule. I know that since you're here tonight. But let's say maybe you're in search of, I don't know, playing Mahjong. You can go to our website and learn about an upcoming event where you can play Mahjong. Toby, you're about to enter the manhood. You could enjoy your first wine tasting event. We're going to have Wine-a-Palooza. The deadline is tonight. Forgive me if I'm speaking out of turn, Mom, there. Go to our website, cbisd.org, for that and many other wonderful things. If you are new to our congregation or you somehow have forgotten what we talk about after our website, is to please remember to validate your tickets. If you parked in the structure, it is free, and the validation machine is in the lobby. You can ask pretty much anyone, and they'll point it out to you if you're having trouble finding it. A quick story for you. Amazingly, my story was the exact one that Rabbi Gimbel picked out tonight, so I'll have to come up with a different one, so forgive me if I'm ad-libbing here. I want to tell you a story about two people. Their names are John and Deb, and they are absolute saints. Okay, I guess we don't say saints in here, so maybe mensches would be a better choice, but John and Deb are absolute mensches, and I'll tell you why. They have a neighbor that they live next to. Let's call her, I don't know, Rachel. Rachel is an elderly woman. She lives about an hour away from her son. Let's call him Mark. We'll go with Mark, yes. John and Deb do an amazing job helping out Rachel with the little things that sometimes people need help with. Maybe she loses the remote control. Maybe the smoke detector is chirping. They will go to her porch and take her packages if they see them sitting out for a little while, just so they don't disappear. They give Rachel just some help and some support, and it's a beautiful thing. And one day I asked them, Mark asked them, why do you guys do that? That's such a wonderful thing. And John said to Mark, well, my mom lives in Alaska. She's several days away from me. In Alaska, you have amazing neighbors. He said, I can never provide the sort of help to her that I can to Mark's mom. But what I can do is help pay it forward by helping out Rachel. I thought that was a beautiful story, and it motivated Mark, and maybe me, by extension, to try and reach out and find the little things that we can all do to help make the world a tiny bit better place. Thank you very much. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Beautiful, Mike. We begin to conclude our service this evening. Page 282, I invite you to turn to the Aleinu and rise if you are able as we face the ark. We join together.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא נהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו ושמו
please be seated as we take a moment to think of those who are no longer physically with us, but individuals in our lives and our families that continue to live on in our hearts and in our memories. Every time in our service, when we get to the end, we always think about those people that we miss and that we love. And so, at this time in our community, in this period of Shiva, we think of Marcia Ferrer, the sister of Joyce and Jim Spivak. In this period of Shloshim, for 30 days from burial, we think of Trudy Bohm, Bunny Estrin, Sydney S. Cantor, April Mondini, and Sylvia Odelson. And in our yard sites this week, as I call their names, and as the names that have been already called, I invite you to rise in your place, either in person or if you're with us virtually at home, when you hear the name of your loved one. Fanny Edelstein, Fernando Archandieta, Rose Axelrod, Estlin Bassick, Colleen Belts, Alan Bernstein, Deborah Blemker, Ross Bliss, Lillian Braun, Miriam Brine, Eva Bronstein, Leo Calamia, Carl Carrillo, Harry Chernow, Essie Sirkin, Joyce Stahl, David Drucker, Sam Eckley, Gloria Carol Edelstein, Eric Erickson, Max Falk, Celia Felser, William Finkel, Charles Fleming, Aggie Floyd, Tilly Foreman, Joseph Friedman, Harold Garfield, Martin Gilbert, Rena Goodman, Ethel Gordon, Saul Godhealth, Brandt Greenberg, Joe Gus, Betty Gutterman, Hannah Hinden, Gunter Hirschfeld, Louisa Hirschfeld, Ned Hyman, Andrew Israel, Belle Jacobson, Leon Kaufman, Nancy Kaufman, Harry Clyde, Tilly Clyde, Molly Corhan, Beatrice Lazaro, Elisheva Leon, Richard Levin, Jesse Lieberman, Milton Lubo, Harry Lurie, Norma Maskin, Charles McCurdy, Wallace Kendall Melville, Leo Mintz, Jerome J. Moss, Harry Nathanson, Martha Newell, Esther Newman, Nisuya Okun, Robert Thomas Osborne, Sylvia Polgar, Mary Rabiner, Jacob Rappaport, Lena Raskin, Gladys Rosen, Natalie Rosenkrantz, Samuel Rosoff, Sarah Rosoff, Joseph Rubin, Morris B. Saski, Charles Sharnikow, Cecil R. Sheikman, Gertrude Shub, Raymond Schwartz, Louis Schwartz, Tilly Schwartz, Ralph Seligman, Ben Shapiro, Rachel Schaustak, Edward Schustak, Sidney Silverman, Miriam Small, Ethel Solomon, Sophie Spector, Irene N. Stein, Sadie Stern, Sam Stieber, Mary Stone, Robert Strauss, Isidore Streichler, Judith Summers, Sidney Temple, Rita Vogel, Max Wagner, Leslie Wander, Harry Wax, Carolyn Wolf, and Alan Zweibel. If there is a name that you would like to add so all of us collectively can hold them in our hearts, I invite you to rise at this time and share that name. And we all rise in the community
to join together with our mourners, and together we join and we say, page 294, Yitzgadal v'yitzgadash merabah, be'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitvaman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mirmav u'yaseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories ever continue to inspire and be for blessing as we say amen.
Amen.
I'd like to call upon our pre-K and our kindergartners one last time, and I invite those who are our community here that's present, those that are virtual, I invite you to put your prayer books down if you have them. Perhaps those that you came in with, you'd like to place your hand around a loved one's shoulders if you're comfortable. And as we conclude this evening, we sing together the words Oseh Shalom, the words that ask of God to bring peace to us, our communities, and this greater world. And then we will join in Motzi as we conclude this evening.
Say shalom bimroma, say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru
Say Shabbat Shalom. Say
Shabbat
somebody
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom to someone near you.
Shabbat Shalom.
And as we join together in Motzi, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
hamotzi lechem min haaretz, Shabbat Shalom.
And please join us. Come grab some challah. Join us for the oneg outside. Shabbat Shalom.